Good day, human Latiosites. This is Latios Azubral, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Picross, where we use logic puzzles to draw Pokemon pictures. So let's begin. Last time we drew some more Mega Evolutions, culminating in Mega Altaria. This time, let's continue. Next up is Area 23, I guess. So we're getting somewhere, I suppose. So I guess we're starting off with, looks like Mega Medicham. Well, first of all, is there any... We still need a mural tile from somewhere. Is the missing mural tile from this... I guess it's not from here. So, said at least one mythical or legendary Pokemon use only reveal skills and complete all missions at the same time. Alright. Sure, only reveal ones. In that case, let's bring our good friends Infernape and Blaziken. Where's Infernape? Here we go. We shouldn't need to use Gengar, I don't think. Do you do it at the beginning or at the start? Okay. Alright, that's not very fun. Does anyone else do it not at the start? You do it anytime, but you're not able to do anything for us anyway here, so... Okay. Anyone square reveal anytime? I'm assuming this is at the start. But you'll do it anytime, but 10 by 10. Yeah, that's less than ideal. Yep, that's less than ideal. So you know what? Let's move on to what else? What else kind of reveals do we have? Who can Rising reveal anytime? You're at the start. At the start. I don't feel like using... Well, we have to bring a mythical or legendary anyway, so... Arceus, you can just sit there. Probably not going to use you, but you can just sit there. Let's go. Dragonite, right in the middle. Right in the middle, or I'll just, you know, try it again. I'll take it. I'll take it. Since I'm not using Gengar, might as well use what we have. That's not too bad. Not too bad, alright. Now, Blaziken, try to hit the, You know what, I'll take that. I'll take it, I'll take it. Alright. So in that case, we have... Those have to be in the 4. That's a 1. That's a 5. That's a 1. There's 3 there. That's a 1, so that's the 3. That's a 1 anyway. That's a 2. These are 1s. But that's a 3. You have a 6 right here. 1 right there, so this would be the other 1. That's in the 5. In fact, 1 and 5. There we go. So that row is done. You have a 1 right here. 4 right there. 1, 2, 1. 2, 1, 4. Another 1 here, that's a 2. 1, 2, and a 3. Those need to be in the 3. That's a 6. That's a 4. We have 3 1s, 2 1s, and a 3. That's a 2. That's a 4. And there we go. There we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Medicham. And with that, Mega Medicham is going to get the crown. I'm okay with, for the most part, using only reveal skills. It's the using only time skills that kind of bother me. So, whatever. Alright, so I guess next up will be Mega T-Tar. Which is asking us set at least one steel type, so use Metagross and bring everyone else can be the same. Alright, so. No. Auto fix X. I'll bring Mega Metagross because you know what? Why not? As long as we're doing the whole Metagross thing, why not go Mega? Why not? I'm gonna pass on bringing Gengar, I guess, even though I feel like... whatever. I mean, we'll finish it faster this way. It's just that we're gonna end up with a higher time this way. But in real time, we will actually lessen our time most likely because we're bringing these guys instead of Gengar. Gengar doesn't help us get it done faster, it just helps the time we use count as less. 2 minutes less to be specific. Alright. Bottom right. I believe in you, Blaziken. I'll take that. I'll take it. Alright, so. You might as well use Greninja, because why not? Alright, there's 2, so we know that has to be in the 3. Those cannot be in the 3. That's in the 5. And that is a 1. That is a 1. That's a 3. Well, that's a 1. We have a 2 and a 1. Those have to be in the 4. And that has to be in the 2. Those have to be in the 2s. That has to be in the 2. So we have that. So that's in the 4, that's a 2. Is that the 1? And then we have those are in the, that's in the 3. That is not, so that's in the 4. So that is the 3. That row is done. We have a 5. This needs to be in the... So that's the 2. Meaning that's a 3, 1, 3. So we're going to end up with a 1 right there, and the 2 right here. What am I doing? Why am I doing that? I'm an idiot. You know what? This is what happens when you stop paying attention to what you're doing, I think. That's the 2. That's the 3. That's the 2. There you go. If I was paying more attention in the end, I probably would have been doing it a little more efficiently, but with that we actually drew a Mega Evolved Mega Tyranitar. So Mega Tyranitar is going to get the crown. Hyper Mega Evolution Trainer. Okay. We Mega Evolve 30 Pokemon. Wow, already? 30 Pokemon. Well, we're on our way to 50, I guess. Or however many there are in this game, I have absolutely no idea, to be honest. So at least one Ice type and a Fairy type. Okay. Fair enough. So I guess I'll bring Togekiss. And Blue Force from an Ice type. How about Glalie 15 by 15? That'll work. So, Mega Gengar versus Gengar. I don't know which one is... I guess Gengar is a little bit more convenient in that it does the whole 2 minutes at once, whereas Mega Gengar does 3 minutes, but they're staggered. Well, they're not staggered, at least. They're disjoint. But you can start them one right after the other, though. Are you kidding me? Togekiss, that was garbage. Alright. And of course you're gonna overlap. I bet you this overlaps. In fact, I bet you this overlaps Infernape. Well, okay, I'll take it. Alright, might as well use the Blue Force. May the Blue Force be with us. Alright, we have a 2 and a 5. There's the 9. There's the 6. Two, that's a 1, and that would be in the 4. Well, in that case, we know that's the 4 then. That's a 2, that's a 3, that's a 5, that's a 3. That's the 4. In that case, that would be the 1. So there's that 1. That's a 3, 4, 3, 1, 2, 5. 1, 1, 2, 3, and a 1. That's the 2. That's a 4, and a 2. 3, and a 1, and a 1. And a 1. There we go. With that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Salamence. Did I even use Mega Metagross there? I don't remember if I made any mistakes in there, but whatever. With that, we have Mega Mets. Alright. Let's move on. Which area is the missing mural tile from? Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to actually do it like this. Area 7. Please tell me it's not Jirachi. It's Jirachi. I have to do Jirachi again. Isn't that awesome? Alright, you know what? Let's do it. Use Slash Reveal 2 or more fire types in 6 minutes. Well, you're out. I need to use Slash Reveal. I'm not sure if I have anyone who can use it, though. It's not legendary or mythical. I might just use one of them. Yeah, you can't. And they won't work anyway because of that. So, I guess Diance's getting used. Unless I can use Flygon. Oh, I can use Flygon. In that case, I have no reason to use you. As far as fire types go, Yeah, you're not gonna work. I might as well just bring those and not actually use them. Square reveal. Guess I'm going Dragonite. This is gonna be fun, won't it? You know what? I'm bringing Heatran. Although you have to do it at the beginning. Guess Moltres is up. Moltres, and hopefully Moltres will be enough. And at that rate, I'm bringing Charmander because it doesn't really matter. Whether it being Charmander or Infernape, it really doesn't matter because they're going to do the same exact thing. But they have to be a fire type. So, let's go. This time, Dragonite, go in the middle. In the middle, for heaven's sake. Well, that's a little better. It's a little better. Alright, Flygon. Toward the top, middle top, not the bottom. That is completely useless. That's completely garbage, but whatever. Alright, 4, 3. That is a 4. That's a 2. And that'll be the 1. So we have a 3. We have a 1. We have a 3 and a 3. Those need to be in the 3s. That's a 3. That would be the 6. That's a 1. That's a 1. We have a 2, and we have a 3. So that means we have a 3 right there. I mean, this column's already done with. Alright, we have 4 there. 4 there, 1 there, 3 there. That is not in the 2. Oh yeah, this is obviously the 2. What am I doing? Meant to do that. Whatever. Alright, in that case, it's 3 then, and that's the 1. Okay. And this is something I've already drawn. Just to add insult to injury. Alright. So we have the 6 then, and 2. Alright. We have a 1 there, 1 there. That's in the 3. That's in the 3. In that case, we have those 3s. I meant to click on this one, obviously. It is so easy to click on the wrong thing by accident. Alright. So that means the 2. I should have known the 2 would be right there. That made the most sense. What am I doing? That's obviously the 2. If I was paying any attention, I would know that. Instead, I'm almost out of Metagross. 2 and 3. That's a 3. There's the 2. Okay. Now we have a 2 somewhere here. Well, those are 1s. One and a 3, and we have a 2 and a 1. Two right there, that's a 2. That's a 4. So that would be the 3. That would be the 3. Alright, in that case, then the 2 would be here, making that a 3. And a 4. So there's the 1. 2 right there. 2 right there. There we go. Under 4 minutes. With that, we drew Jirachi. So with that, Jirachi's going to give us that final mural tile. And Jirachi's finally going to get to wear that nice little crown. Finally. I mean, I can't say Jirachi doesn't deserve it. So, there we go. With that, we now have every mural tile. So once we finish up with the Mega Evolutions, we will be able to go about going after the mural tiles. Or at least filling out the mural tiles. So that's kind of cool. Alright, that's Area 23. Area 24. Alright, simple enough. Mega Gallade, it looks like. Alright, dude, 15 minutes, set Gallade, use slow time at least once. Alright, so slow time. Guess I'll bring Ampharos, who I can use. Bring Gallade. Gallade's gonna have Hyperscan. May or may not be useful. Oh, will be useful. Nice. Alright, and... I'd rather bring Greninja, I think, than Gengar, between the two of them. I mean, I could bring a Cross Revealer, who I think might actually help out just about as much, but whatever. Alright, Dragonite, do your thing. Right in the middle, please. Make my life easy. Or make my life inconvenient. That works. Not too surprised. Okay. So 2 right there. 3 right there. That's a 3. 1 right there. That's a 1. That's a 3. That's a 2. Two right there, 2 right there, and we have a 6. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to that 1 right there, but you know what? Yeah, that's a 2, and we know that's a 3. I meant to X that out. Whatever. Whatever, indeed. Alright, here we go. The 7 will include that. Stuff, which means I only meant to X out them. You know what? Whatever. In that case, the 7's gonna have that. So we're gonna have a 2 right there. And that would be the 1. So there's that 3. The other 3 is gonna include this, this, and that. Alright. Well, we know that that's a 1. But that's a... I meant to only click that one spot. Whatever. What am I doing? That's obviously... I guess it wasn't obvious, but... made sense at the 2. Alright, these are 1s. But that's a 2. That's a 3. That column's done. I keep on accidentally moving things too far. It's kind of crazy. Alright, so this is going to be a 2. So that's the 5. Because that's a 2. That's a 1. So you have a 2 and a 5. In that case, we have 4 and 1. 2. The 2 right here. 1, 1, and 2. 1 and 1. And there we go. That, and here we go. There we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Gallade. Alright. So with that, Mega Gallade is going to get the crown. So, on to Area 25. A lot of Mega Evolutions here, it looks like. Of course... Oh, those are going to be big ones up the top right. Alright, let's move on to, I guess, Mega Lopunny. Set Lopunny, use Blue Force. Alright. Alright, where... So Lopunny can only do it in the beginning, I think? Yeah. So I could use you instead of Dragonite. I think I'll do that. And I'll bring Infernape and Blaziken. Alright, let's do this. Alright, Lopunny. Right in the middle. I'll take it. Gotta use Blue Force because of rules, reasons, whatever. And no reason not to use everyone. Please don't overlap vertically with Lopunny. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take it. Most likely Infernape's gonna overlap someone. Just hopefully we at least get one column and the row doesn't overlap. Nope, instead, well, a row overlaps but a column doesn't. What do you know? Alright, so we have a 2 right there. That's the 5, that's a 2. 2 and 2. 1, 1, and we have a 2 somewhere. Alright. So that's a 3. That's a 1. 1 right there. So, 3 right there. That's a 2. 2, that's a 3. In that case, that's the 2. 8. 3 and 2. That's a 3. That's the 1. 2 right there. There's a 2. 1 there. I meant to click that because there we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Lopunny. And with that, Mega Lopunny is going to get the crown. There we go. Alright, next up is Mega Gardevoir. Alright, set Gardevoir, use Diamond Reveal. Alright. Gardevoir does it at the start. Pretty much same thing as Togekiss. So basically this is, I think we'll do this the same deal as with Lopunny. I think that's probably the most efficient way to go about this. Just same deal. Only instead of starting with the Rising Reveal, it starts with the Diamond Reveal. That's fine. Gardevoir, right in the middle. Right in the middle. I know you're gonna go in the corner, but you know. I can hope. Alright, let's go. Bottom right. Bottom right. Come on, Blaziken. Ah, what are you gonna do? Okay. Top right. Top right. Come on. Nice! I'll take it. I will take it. Alright. So we know that these are filled in. So we have a 6 and a 2. 3 and a 4. Alright, that's the 4 then, that's the 3. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time, do I? Alright. So then the 6 would go downward. That's a 2. We have the 1 somewhere. Guess there. Alright. We have a 3. Have to be there. 1 and 2. That's a 2. And we have a 1. Oh, wait a minute, that's a 3. I should have paid attention to that. Alright. What am I doing? That's the 7. 5. 2, right there. 2 and a 1. Oh, what am I doing? That's a 3. Duh. Alright. So we have this. That's a 2. What am I doing? I meant to click that. Because that's the end. There we go. Minute and a half. That's it. There we go. With that, we have drawn a Mega Evolved Mega Gardevoir. So, with that, Mega Gardevoir is going to get a crown. Alright, so next up, it looks like there's going to be Mega Latios and Mega Latios. I think I'm actually going to go back to them. I'm going to go back to them. So, because they're legendary, I'll go back to them afterward. They're going to be bigger ones anyway. Although Venusaur is going to be bigger, but either way. Alright, you set Butterfree, use Rising Reveal. Alright. Makes sense, Beedrill wants us to use Butterfree. Although it's kind of weird that it's a Mega Beedrill asking to use Butterfree. Mega Butterfree confirmed. Alright. Where is... Alright, here's Butterfree. So we have the Hyper Scan. And use Rising Reveal. So... you'll do it anytime, which is convenient. In fact, I would rather bring Metagross, I think. No, but alright, you know what? Metagross used 12 times, so the difference is 3. I'll bring Metagross. Let's go. Lopunny shall be our Mega. On the other hand, I really didn't need to bring Metagross because we do have Butterfree. But, whatever. So that's done with. You know what? Let's let Blaziken do something. That's not that helpful, but I'll take it. I meant to fill that in. Because that column is kind of obvious now. Alright. So that column is done. What am I doing? That's a 3. That's a 2. That's a 3. We have this. That's the 9. That's a 4. There we go. This needs to be a 3. And there's another 1 somewhere. It's a 2, 1, 2. There we go. That's a 2, and we have a 6 somewhere. That's a 3. There's the 6, 3, 5, 2 and 2. So 3, 2, and 2. 2 and 2. 2 and 2. I obviously didn't mean to pick that last one, but you know, whatever. There we go. With that, we have drawn a Mega Evolved Mega Beedrill. Okay. I forgot to use Lopunny. I'm an idiot. I set Lopunny and I forgot to use it. Wow. Well, because of me, Mega Beedrill didn't get the crown. But you know what? That's okay. It's just a Beedrill anyway. I'm sorry about that. Alright, at least 4 Pokemon, 10 or fewer skills. I guess I'm not bringing you. Okay. I can bring Lopunny. Well, Mega Lopunny, that is. You're not going to be of use. You're not going to be of use. Can only bring 1 Mega, obviously. Alright, well, would Gallade be useful? Or, I guess it could. And... Well, all these are at the start. I don't think Flygon will work. No, Flygon will. Wow, okay. In that case, Flygon and... Well, I can't bring any other Megas, so... You'll do it anytime, but you're not gonna do it. 15 squares anytime, that's not very helpful. 80 squares at the start. That might just be more useful than... You're not gonna do it. I'll decide Dragonite or Hydreigon. No, actually I won't. I'm just gonna bring Gengar. Or no, I don't need Gengar. I'm gonna bring Greninja. Okay. So total we can bring 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Possible to do 11. Of course we're not gonna do 11 obviously because we want to use 10 or fewer. But I'm probably not going to use Greninja more than more than once. So let's go. So Mega Lopunny I think might help us out a little bit. That's not too bad. Come on. All the way to either the left or the right. Don't overlap. Please no overlap. Oh, wait a minute. You go sideways. I keep forgetting that. Alright, well. In that case... we have... that's a 2, that's a 1... this would be the 6. And these are 1s. That can't be a 2. In that case, we have the 1 and the 1 right there. Two right there. Really no reason not to go for Greninja. Those are in the 10. Those are in the 3. 1 right there. Well, we don't know about that necessarily. But we know that's definitely a 1. So we have a 1 and a 1. That's in the 3. That's in the 4. That's a 2. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna use Gallade once right now, just to make sure we're on the right track. Oh, wow. Well, you know what? At least we're now on the right track. We know we're on the right track. That's a 2. That's a 2. That's a 3. That's a 4. What am I doing? 4 right there, that's a 1, and that's a 2. Wait, 2, 2, 3. Oh, there's a 1 here. Okay. So we have 2, 1, 1. So 2 somewhere here. That would have to be in the 2. So that would be a 1. This would be in the 5. So, what did I just do? You know, that's in the 5. There we go. Two and a 1. 1, and we have another 1 somewhere. So that's done with. Yeah, that has to be empty. So that's not in 7, 2, 1, 2. That's a 4. You have a 2. We have a 1 and a 2, so that has to be in the 2. That's in the 3. So that's there. You know what? Gallade, just fix something. Alright, that's good enough. So we have a 2 and a 1. So that's the 1 and the 3. So we have a 1, 3, and a 1, and a 2, and there we go! With that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Venusaur. And Mega Venusaur is going to get the crown. Alright. So, the next area is Area 27. Okay. Now let's start off with this one. So at least one legendary mythical Pokemon use Hyperscan 2 or fewer times, so don't bring a Hyperscanner. So, sorry Gallade, you're out. And I guess we could do the same thing again? Same deal? Only this time I guess we can bring Blaziken. No, actually, we have to bring a legendary or mythical Pokemon for reasons. So you know what? I'll bring Giratina just because. Let's go. Alright, Dragonite, right in the middle. Right in the middle. I'll take it. Corner, but I'll take it. Alright. Top. Go to the top. Flygon, right at the top. Well, top of the box, so, you know. it technically was the top of, well, of Dragonite's space, but whatever. You gotta be kidding me. That's garbage. Alright. Whatever. Whatever. Let's do this. Alright, well we know for a fact that's in the 2. We know that that's the 7. Those are 1s, but that's a 5. I probably could have brought Metagross this time. But alas. That's a 4. That's in the 2. That's a 2, so this can be a 5. 4 and a 2. That's a 4. That's the 2. Alright. You have, those should be X's. That's in the 2. That's in the 2. That would be a 3. Two right there. That's a 1. Those are in the 2s. That needs to be in a 1. So that's the 3. So we have a 2 and a 1. Two and a 4. 1, 2, 2. That would be in a 2. That would be in a 2, so that row is done. So we have this, and we have a 1 somewhere here. Well, we have this 2, making that a 1. 2 right there, 2, 1, 1 and 1. There we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Gyarados. Alright. Definitely use Hyperscan fewer than 2 times since we didn't even bring a Hyperscan user. Alright. You know what? Let's do one more. Mega Swampert. It's going to be a big one, but use Blue Force at least one. Set at least one Mega Evolved Pokemon. Fair enough. I can't bring you because it's a 15 by 20. But Flygon has definitely proven to be useful for us, which is definitely nice. Alright. Alright, so we need to bring a Mega Evolved, and I'm bringing Greninja. So, which Mega should we bring? I think I'm gonna bring Mega Metagross. And... guess I'll bring Gallade, just because. Alright. So we have to use Blue Force, and we're bringing our Mega Evolution, so... we're good! We're good. Alright. Come on, right in the middle. Right in the middle. Alright, this is gonna be fun. Okay. First of all, Greninja, I need you to make it convenient for us, and now... Flygon, come on. Toward the top. I need you to go well above Dragonite, because... Alright, that is good. That's good. That's actually perfect. Alright. So that would make that the 3. This needs to be a 2. In fact, that's in the 2. That needs to be a 1. So that's the 6. That's a 3. In that case, that's the 5, and that would make this 2. 3 right there, and we have a 2 somewhere here. Okay. So that's a 1 and a 2. The 1's going to be somewhere down here. My guess would be right there. Alright. After the... So that would be the 1, which makes this a 2. Which means we have a 1 and a 3. Six and a 1. 2 right there. Making that a 3. 3 right there. Well, in that case, that's the 4. Nothing there. But this is a 5. So we have a 2 right there. That's a 2. 1, that's a 6. And we have, that's a 2 and that's a 3. That's the 2. That's not the 1. Alright. That's okay. That's a 3. It's a 2 for the 1. In that case, the 5 goes downward, and that's the 2. There we go. Alright. I meant to fill that in. Whatever, okay, so... In that case, we have this. That row is done. That column is done. Give this, and that's a 4. It's 2 right there. That's a 2, and that's a 2. Okay. 3 right there. That's a 4. That's a 4. 2. What do I do? Oh. That's a 3. Alright, we have a 1 and a 1. So that's the 3. 2 right there. 2 and a 1. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Swampert. There we go. And with that, Mega Swampert is going to get the crown. Alright. We are making our way through these Mega Evolutions. Definitely. Alright, so... Next time, we're going to keep going with these Mega Evolutions. We've got to be getting toward the, we've got to be getting closer to the end, I think. There are 3 here, 2 of which are Charizard. 3 there, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus Latios and Latias, so 8, 9, and Diancie, which is 10. So I guess 10 more Mega Evolutions, so they're going to be bigger puzzles because of, they're going to have, well, they're going to be mostly 20 by 15, for the most part, I would assume. And then from there, I guess we're going to be working on those mural tiles. So, most likely, there's a very good chance we're not going to finish up next time with these Mega Evolutions, but you can bet next time you can look forward to more Mega Evolution puzzles. So thank you for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.